Hi there, my name's Andy Hillier and today's guitar lesson is going to be on All the Way for You by Poets of the Fall. Now, I'd never heard this song before yesterday, someone just put it on my live chat and it's a beautiful little song. It's a relatively easy-ish song to play, a bit of finger picking. It's a really nice song. I'm going to teach you the whole song, but just before I do, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, which is Andy Hillier, give me a like on the video, the thumbs up, press that now. And I do love to hear from you, so please leave me some comments in the comment section. If you just want to say hi. Let me know where in the world you're from. Let me know what songs I should do next. And if you love what I'm doing, you want to support me, support the channel, and you want to print the tabs off for this, then I'll put it on my Patreon page. I'll leave a link to that in the description. Also, while we're there, check me out on Instagram. I'll leave the handle below. My guitar is in standard tuning. Now the song starts with the intro and it's also the same as the verse. And it sounds like this. So to play that, starts with the D sus2 chord. First finger barred from the A string at the 5th fret. Third finger on D7, little finger on G7. So we're going to play the A5, D7, the G7, the B5 and the E5, then back to the B5. So it goes slowly. And then you keep your third and fourth fingers in the same place, but move your first finger down to A4. And you're going to play the A4, D7, the G7, back to the D7. So it goes. Then take your first finger off and play the open A, D7, G7, and then D7. So the first bar slowly. Then keep your third and fourth fingers there. Put your second finger on E7. You're going to play the E7, the D7, the G7. Then your first finger is going to bar across the E and the B string at the 5th fret and play B5, E5, and then the B5. It's a little bit of a stretch that. So you got. Then play the E7, the D7, the G7, back to the D7. Then we're going to change to the open A string, then D7, and then G6, back to the D7. So the last two beats of that go. The whole of bar 2 slowly. So let's play the whole line slowly. Here we go. Actually sounds really nice slow. Up speed. So that repeats, so it's once in the intro and I think it's twice in the verse. We then go on to the next line, which is the bridge. The first two bars of it sound like this. So for that, it's a G chord, second finger on E3 nearest to your face, third finger on B3, little finger on E3 nearest to the floor. And you're going to play E3, then D, then G, back to D, the B3, G, D, then the E3 nearest to the floor. So far you've got then B3, the G, then D. So bar 3 slowly. Up speed. Slowly. We then go to a B minor 7 in bar 4. First finger A2, second finger on G2, and third finger on B3. And we're going to play the A2, then the D, G, D, B, G, D, then E. So it's almost the same picking pattern, but your thumb just starts one string down to. Then B3, G2, then D. So bar 4 slowly. So bars 3 and 4 together slowly, you got. And up speed. So they repeat and play it twice. So you play bars 3 and 4 twice, and then you carry on into bar 5. Now bar 5 is the same as bar 3. Then bar 6 we've got, which is just A string, then D2, B2, back to the D2, then B3, D2, then E. So bar 6. So let's put bars 5 and 6 together. Here we go. And then after that first bridge, it goes back to the verse, plays the verse, and then plays the bridge again. We then get a chorus which sounds like this. So to play that, first finger across E and the B strings at the 5th fret, third finger on G7, third finger G7, and play G7, B5, E5, back to the B5, then go to G6, B5, E5, and then B5, so. Then go down to your first finger flat on the 3rd fret, second finger on G4, so you play G4, B3, E3, back to B3. Then it's a D chord, so playing G2, B3, E2, and B3. So bar 7 slowly. Into bar 8, just take your first and second fingers off and leave your third finger on B3 and play the open G string, B3, E, then B3, then probably use your fourth finger, perhaps little finger, on D4. You might prefer to switch your fingers around and use your third finger. Play D4, then B3, E, B3, then D2, B3, E, B3, then G2, B3, so bar 8 slowly. So bars 7 and 8 together go. So a little tip for that is when you go to bar 8, if you switch your second finger to that B3, it's going to be easier to get up to D4 and the A2. So, rather than using your little finger, it's probably easier. Bar number 9 is the same as bar 7. Then bar 10, we've got this A7 sus4 chord. Fret 2 on the D string, fret 3 on the B string, and you're going to play D2, G, B3, D2, E, B3, then G, then use your second finger on E2, so it goes. Then B3, G, D2, and then just strum the chord without the second finger on. So just play the D2, G, B3 and open E strings. Okay, so bars 9, 10 and 11 go. It then goes back to the verse, bridge, chorus, and then we have this little breakdown part, which is like a piano. I've written 2 lines of it out. It goes like this. So that's the first line. Open G string, and then E7, E5, E2, B3 to the open E. So it goes. Next bar, we play E7 and B7 at the same time. If you struggle to put that bass note in, you don't have to, you could just play the top note. Then E7, nearest the floor, E5, E2, B3 to E. Then the next bar is the same as the first bar, but we just put an open B string in as well. So it goes. Then bar 15, we've got E7 and B7 at the same time. Open B, G6 and A, and then G7. So the whole line. On to the next line of this sort of breakdown part. Sort of starts the same. Slight difference there. We've got a B3, so G and B strings, E7, then G3, E2, B3, E. So it goes. Then E7 and B7, E7, E9, E10, B3 and then E, then open G and B strings, E7, E5, E2, B3, E. So similar to what we've done. Then bar 19, E and B strings at the same time, E7, then A9 and E9, and then E10. So the whole of that line goes. So that's a little breakdown part, and then the rest of it is just like some chords. So the outro, we've got G5 chord, E3, B3, and second finger on E3 nearest to your face. Just mute off the A string for a bar. Then B minus 7, first finger A2, second finger on G2, third finger on B3. Back to G5, then B minus 7, then an A chord, which is just D2, G2 and B2. Back to G5, B minor 7, G5, bar 27 is just an E power chord, open E with A2 and D2, and then an F sharp power chord, E2 with A4 and D4. And just put some rhythm into it. The whole line goes like this. And that just repeats till the end of the song. The rhythm I was doing is just going like down, 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 up, down, 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 up. So something like that would work perfect. And that's the end of the song. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed that little guitar lesson. If you have, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, which is Andy Hillier, it does help me out, as does giving me a like on the video. Hopefully that will get some more people to see this video. And the more comments, the better. So just say hi if you just want to say hi. Let me know where in the world you're from, what you thought of the video. Let me know what songs I should do next. And if you love what I'm doing, you want to support me, support the channel, and you want to print the tabs off of this, then I'll put it on my Patreon page. I'll leave a link to that in the description. And you can check me out on Instagram as well. I'll leave the handle below, Andy Hillier Guitar. Well, thanks for watching this. I do appreciate it. I've been Andy Hillier, and I'll see you next time.